welcome to Afternoon Vibes this beautiful afternoon. Yes, I'm so happy to be here as always, and thank God also for you. Thank God for the eyes, you have to watch us and the ears to hear us. I'm always excited to be here on the show. We give God all the glory. My name is Shayo John Adebayo, and today's episode promises to be exciting, interesting, edifying as always. Yes, because today we've got another interesting topic to talk about, and that is integrity. Integrity is really going to be a great time on the show today. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break. Yeah, welcome back. If you're just joining us, it's Afternoon Vibes, and we are here again to do it as we usually do it. And today we're talking about integrity. But I'm sure you're wondering, where's Debbie? Where's Debbie? Yeah. Actually, Debbie is on an official assignment, but of course, I'm not alone in the studio. There's somebody with me, somebody special, one beautiful lady like that, and she's one thing that is common about her. Anytime you see her, she's always laughing, and she's not a person, but Senami Matthew. Woo! Welcome
Hey,
to the show.
thank
Welcome
you,
to the show.
thank
Wow.
you.
You can see she's laughing already. Her second name is Laughter, actually. Senami Matthew, you're welcome.
Thank
So,
you.
to the Afternoon Vibes audience, we introduce to you Senami Matthew. So, we're going to be doing this on the show together. I've mentioned my name. Shayo John Adebayo, actually. So, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's a great honor to have you.
It feels good to be here, sir.
Yeah. So, integrity.
Mm,
How do we open? First, I'd like to define the word integrity from Webster's dictionary. Like I said, those people need to begin to pay us. That's the dictionary we've been using for only God knows when. All right. It defines it as the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. It is also the practice of being honest and showing a consistent and uncompromising adherence to strong moral and ethical principles and values. I like that. A consistent and uncompromising adherence to strong moral and ethical principles and values. One word comes to mind: ethical principles. So when we say integrity, we're talking about your principles as a person. What are the rules that are guiding your life as a person, as an individual? You understand? Because every gadget, every device has a manual that guides it. So, integrity is one of those things that guides your life. What you say, the way you relate with people, you understand what you can accept, what you can, what you would not accept. You understand the kind of relationship you get into, so it just defines, everything about your life. And then this is one of the qualities that many people have not really taken seriously, Senami, because sometimes when you hear some people do some certain things, you just be surprised, like, how could somebody just, and sometimes even in a very corporate setting, so you see that all of these things boil down to, lack of integrity, not having, because when you have integrity, it reflects, it shows. It's not
Yes.
something that can be hidden.
Of course.
You understand? It's not something that can be hidden. In fact, when you meet somebody in 5 minutes, like the very first encounter I had with Senami, within few minutes, I already know she's, a person of integrity. And then, so in fact, when we, spoke that day, she even told me that was one of our core values. I said, oh, I can see it already. So that's what we're talking about this today, because this has actually caused a lot of people, has made many lose opportunities.
Yes.
This has also made many people lose, vital relationships, destiny relationships, just for lack of integrity. So we've defined it again. Let me just read it again. The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. So the question to you out there now is, what are the moral principles that are guiding your life? What do you live by? Do you have any principle? What's guiding your life? You understand? Or you are just anything goes? You understand? Some people wonder, we are like, we give off energy.
Yes.
You understand? So what you do, what you think, what you say is, giving energy. It attracts things to you and it repels things.
Yes.
So some people wonder why some certain people are always being attracted to their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's say in relationship context now, like, why is all these kind of people coming my way? They don't know that it's something in you that is actually attracting them,
Yeah.
because you have not put some rules in place,
Yes.
so that would actually shuffle the kind of people that come to you. So when you are a person of integrity, it's, naturally, it's there's a way it shuffles, activities in your life and the kind of people that come to you. So let me just allow Sename to talk, because she's so how do you open, most especially in the relationship context? Many people just, or generally though, many people just it appears as if when you see people with integrity, they appear to be, most especially in Africa, like I was doing it.
Exactly.
It's
know
only
too
so much.
much.
You understand?
Yes. Yes.
So I don't know, how would you open?
Okay, so well, for integrity in relationship is very key, because integrity has to do with being honest, majorly, being you're keeping to what you say you will do. So if you're saying I'm sticking to this guy, it has to be so. You don't have to have somebody by the side, because when you have somebody by the side, it brings doubts. And if the other guy tends to find out, it feels hurt, and your integrity has been jeopardized,
Yes.
it has been ruined already. So when it comes to other things, even aside from relationship, if the person sees you, the person might not be able to refer you to someone else.
True.
So that has also ruined your personality. So it's very important, it's very key that we ensure that integrity speaks a lot about us. We are honest, we keep to what we say we will do. It's very important.
Yes, yes. I love this particular post from Wikipedia. It says, integrity is the trait of sticking to your ethics and moral principles at all times. Examples of a person with integrity include someone who keeps their promises, takes personal responsibility for their actions, treats others with respect at all times, and follows the rules. This last one is the very thing that a typical African finds it hard to do. Following the rules. I like this part. It says someone who takes responsibility for their actions. That's integrity. That's integrity. So, but many of these things, we don't really do them. Just only, very few or tiny percentage of people actually, do all of these things.
Yes.
So, are there consequences for all of these things?
Definitely there is, because let's give for instance now in the corporate world where you ask to purchase items the office needs, and you're giving the list, you're giving the funds, you went, you purchased everything, and at the end of the day, the money is left. And you're just having a conversation with your colleague. Let's keep this money. And your colleague is like, let's give it back to them. And probably because you're a line manager, you decide to just keep it to yourself and nobody knows. But now at the end of the day, maybe so a scenario tends to happen that they need to purchase another one from that particular store you actually went to, and they see that there was actually change less. At that point they might not confront you, definitely, but there's going to be doubt that it's like we can't trust this person.
True.
So you're saying that there was actually change or there was funds left and decided not to give it back to us, you know. So when they will not want to entrust funds in you again, to you again, you know. So I think it's very key in everything we do, no matter how small it is. Let integrity speak. Let's be honest. It might not pay off at that very point in time, but at the end of the day, it will still pay off.
That's very true. And
Yes.
it appears as if when, people are actually trying to uphold, their principles, like, okay, integrity, it appears as if they suffer for it.
Yeah, you know, because people tend to mock them. What benefits? You know, for someone who kept the money now, he has spent the money. But you that decided to return the money, you might not even have money in your pocket at that point in
True.
time. You might not even have transport fare to go home. But you just want to do the right thing. You know, and as I said, people like saying doing the right thing as wrong. You know, because now as he has returned the money to them is the wrong thing, and as they have kept the money is the right thing. But when we look at it the right way, the person who returned the money has actually done the correct thing.
True.
You know, and that's integrity.
True.
It goes a long way. So at the end of the day, to still pay off, because you know, I observe that when people are doing things, they decide not to say it out, but at your back they'll say, you know, this person, forget it, you can entrust things in this person.
True.
Even when
True.
you're not there. So it goes a long way. It's very good. We integrity, we should always be honest and be truthful in everything we do.
Thank you very much. And looking at some other areas or examples, keeping promises, keeping your promise. These are very key things, and they are easier said than done. Let me just put it that way. Because for you to keep your promise, like say it and then it is so. It actually means a lot. But if you can actually, be disciplined enough to live by these principles, they are so, I mean, they have a lot of rewards.
Definitely.
So there's a lot of rewards, but the reward might not be immediate. Yes, it might not be immediate. Okay, haven't we seen situations whereby someone is contesting for a political position and his opponent, only God knows how they do that thing. They'll go back to like 20, 25 years ago and go and dig. They might say, okay, he impregnated somebody when he was in GSS3. And then when they confronted him, he denied it. So is it that person that you want to make the governor? People say, hey, that will be flying all around the headlines like, so someone who could not own up to his mistakes. So how can he lead us? He cannot lead us. So so now, as at the time he did that, he could, let me just maneuver. Not knowing that years after it's going to catch up. I believe there's a way God has designed this world, the universe to operate or to run. Whatever you sow, you reap.
Definitely.
Either good or bad. Definitely. So you might be listening to us or watching and say, oh, let me just read myself. Let me just, there was a particular scenario we're discussing, real life issue. The person was telling us what a Christian brother. He was sharing with us. He said he was talking to us about an experience he had with his friends. Not really friends, but guys that they rode together. They are into fraud and all this internet and fraud. And at some point, it started paying off for them. Now there was a particular point in time that they hit a particular amount of money, like several millions of naira, like it was so much that they wanted to buy him a car. In fact, a Jeep. And only God knows how many hundreds of millions, you understand? They wanted to buy a Jeep. And no, as in the amount they actually made for them to want to buy him a Jeep. Just as a gift. Then give him, I think, 25 million or something. Wow. So you get, because they know he is the good, is the sheep among them. So this kind of, let's implicate, let him be part of us. So it was a serious, even though he's a Christian, he knows this is wrong, but a Jeep, was it 20 million or 25? I can't remember the amount. So he was like, he was in the dilemma. He didn't know what to do. So he now called his mentor. That this is the situation I'm in. Thank God for the mentor. The mentor said, run away from. He said, disconnect yourself from those friends right away. Like, run as fast as you can. He said, but thank God, he had even submitted himself to someone. Authority. Yes. Because he said he was tempted. In fact, everything in him has collected the money already. And if he had collected, that's about just a few years ago. If he had collected the money, he said he knows where he will have been by now. Now, that person came, we knew each other just barely a year ago. Now I will have known him in money because
Yeah.
that money will have used to start a business.
Definitely.
So we'll be saying, wow.
Yeah.
And somebody will be somewhere envying him. Lord, I'm serving you. I don't know if you see the way this is work. I'm serving you. And God will say, calm down. Just, your reward is coming. Look at this person. He's not even as diligent as I am. He's not as, you understand? See the Jeep, he might even have bought like one other car or something.
Sweet.
But he said, thank God he finally left them. And, he said he still saw one of them recently. They are still in money, like they are doing well, that those guys invested the money. So, but we're talking about integrity. Now, that which he did, it might not, pay off
at
now,
that point in time.
but, a time is coming and this person is already towing the line of ministry. This person I'm talking about. So, imagine he collected the money and then he now later, become a pastor.
Honestly, wow.
And then, one day, maybe those guys just let's just drive it to us. Say, hey, you, pastor, okay.
Wow.
You understand?
Yes.
So this is how costly this, can actually be. So at the beginning, at that time, it might not pay off. It might not. In fact, you might even suffer for it.
Definitely.
You understand? But just know that God, who sees what is happening in the secret, will reward you openly. So there's another one here: keeping secrets. Keeping secrets. How good are you good at keeping secrets?
Well,
to what degree? To a very large extent.
At least to a very large extent, because I will also feel hot if I tell someone something and I get to hear it from someone else. That's why it's a secret. It should be between two people,
True.
without a third party having to hear what you've discussed.
True.
You might not know how deep that conversation. It might look shallow to you. But to the other person, it's something the person really cherished, and probably the person can't keep it to himself and decided to share with you. And
you
decided to share it to the world. It's actually not too good. So secrecy is very important. Very important. You learn to keep it, suck it in, and not divert to a third party.
And this goes to the reason why some people don't actually open up to their pastors.
Yeah, so that they don't make it an example why they're
actually
preaching.
seen, real life issues when it comes to relationship, like someone going through something, serious, and of course she could as well, meet the pastor. This is what I'm going to, but she said, she's scared that if she opens up to the pastor, is it that pastor, preaches about it, or you understand? So it's also part of integrity, for, as a leader, and I might not be a pastor, as a leader, when, so you're being confided in, you just try to keep, wow, that's great. I'm sure you're enjoying this conversation. I'm enjoying it actually, but I would be going on a musical break now. So when we come back, we would continue in our discussion. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the musical break.
Place, yeah. Okay, me, it's okay, you pay me. Another like nothing to get me. You to bless me on a daily. I get it when you tell me no. This thing where I want to go, hand me on. You save me from myself. You're so intentional with me. And other people when they tell me no. You get the little thing right there, no. Your grace, you go end discussion, no. My God, your command. I no go move till you command. Me, I go there when you command. But I go run if you command. Yeah, I forgot you cover me. Yeah, in my eyes I'm losing before me. You be my desire. Now you there for my fire. January to December. Now you be my sustainer.
Jehovah be the motor,
never leave me solo, daddy, you know. I go wherever you go. Can't live without you, your loving. Without you, Lord, I know nothing. You're more, you're more, you're more. You're my rhythm, you're more. You're more, you're more, you're more. Live your life with a loga. Praise the Lord, oh. Hallelujah, meche, meche. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah, for Calvary, you cover me. In my eyes, I lose you before me. You be my desire. Now you there from my fire. January to December. Now you be my sustainer. I don't come. Making up you like say I won't front. Because Baba played the dance song. I won't see that play the gun come. And the gun come. Take it and come. Now my story, my song. Making up you like say I won't front. Because Baba played the dance song. Now for Calvary, you cover me. Yeah. In my eyes, I know you before me. You be my desire. Now you live for my fire. January to December. Now you be my sustainer.
Wow, beautiful music. Beautiful music. That was Desire by Limo Blaze. You know, that was, I love the groove of the music actually. Yeah. So, if you're just joining us, it's Afternoon Vibes. And this is Sename Matthew. I'm introducing her again because you might just be saying, "How is this?" Yeah, this is my co-host for today, and we've actually been talking about integrity. Integrity. So, and it's been a wonderful time on the show. Wow. So, another example of integrity, or an area where integrity is needed. I just saw you paying your taxes. You know, and we might not just streamline to taxes now. In fact, every aspect.
Definitely.
You know, do your, you know, your what now, your responsibilities, your duties, both to the government, to the community, and all of that. It is well. Because the truth is, you know, that's what I know what the Bible says. If the Lord should mark iniquity, you know, because but the reason why we're bringing up this topic is for us to actually, you know, look at all of these areas and see where we are actually, you know, missing it, and you know, turn a new leaf. You understand? Because it's actually key. Being polite even when someone is rude to you. That one is deep.
It is. It's not even easy.
You understand? You know, because they say respect is
It's
reciprocal. So
reciprocal.
when someone is not giving you the opposite, so how do you know?
Honestly, my friend will tell me, Sana, if someone greets you and the person does not answer you, good morning, tell yourself, good morning.
Oh.
And it actually works. We went
Okay,
for an
wait. When you
interview.
greet someone
When you
and the
greet someone,
person,
the person doesn't respond.
okay,
You
so
answer
you answer
yourself. We went for an interview, and the guy was carrying kegs of seaweed bottles, and
Okay.
it fell off.
Okay.
And I picked it up and I gave it to him. He didn't say thank you.
Wow.
And I told myself, thank you. And my friend said, have you responded to yourself? I said, yes, I have already. It doesn't, you're not angry when you do that. You don't get angry when you do that.
Wow.
You don't get angry when you do that.
That's a tip. Free
caution, no, 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 no. My God, your command. I'm not gonna move till you command. Me, I go there when you command. But I go run if you command. Yeah, I forgot about you, cover me. Yeah, in my eyes, I'm losing it for me. You be my desire. Now you there for my fire. January to December. Now you be my sustainer.
Yeah, sometimes some technicalities beyond control can just, come in like that. But we thank God it was not totally beyond control. So we're sorry about that, actually. So you're welcome back. You're welcome back. We've been talking about integrity, and of course, for those of you that are just joining us, this is Sename Matthew, and she's been my co-host today. We've been, having the discussion together. So you're welcome back once again, Sename Matthew.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so integrity, yes, and we're actually looking at different examples of integrity, different areas of our lives where we need to demonstrate, integrity. So one of such areas is doing the right thing without expecting a reward. Of course, we know that in this, most especially in Africa, we believe nothing goes for nothing. So it's also integrity when you do something without expecting a reward. You understand? So, and of course, you have to be an angel to do that. In the Africa of today, because some of these things are almost like it's almost exactly like almost they're not things we see on the regular. Yes, you give me hot, I give you hot. You give me fire, I give you fire. But if you can actually, it's a moral principle. If you can actually uphold this, it distinguishes you, it stands you out, amongst others. Paying your taxes, that's another vital aspect that I believe many are actually guilty of.
Of course.
We are good at cutting corners and just God just help all of us.
Amen.
It's also integrity, actually.
Yes, it is.
Being polite even when someone is rude to you. That one can be hard, actually, because we've always known respect is reciprocal.
Yes.
So when you are now expected to be polite even when someone is rude
to
you, so I don't know, can you do that?
Well, it's not easy.
Yes.
It's really not easy. I must say, when you have so much energy, you're trying to greet somebody, and the person is just like, you say, "Good morning," and he's like, "Good morning."
Oh.
You
That
really,
alone can affect your day. Like,
you'd be like, you might even say it again, good morning. And to just, confirm probably the person didn't hear you well. And like, oh, good morning. And you just try to give excuse for the person. Maybe the person is not in the right frame of mind, but sincerely, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
And there was something you said before we came on this segment
about
you responding yourself.
Yes, yourself. When I greet you and you don't answer me, I just tell myself, good morning. To console myself. So I don't get angry,
Yeah, and another very vital aspect of integrity, which I believe is even the most important, is telling the truth. Telling the truth always.
Always,
yes, always in quotes. But wait, telling it, even if sometimes it has to attract some suffering.
Yes. It's that's what happened to Joseph. It's really not easy. Good example. It's really not easy, But it's really not easy. But at the end of the day, it's better to say the truth. It's not easy, truth be told, especially when you're at fault. It's not easy. You still submit. Who took the meat? Already you're going to be lashed. So you owning up to it and say, Mommy, I took it. Sincerely, it's not easy. Yeah. I wasn't lying to you. It's not easy at all.
The way you are saying is like you're talking from experience.
Of course, Of course, it's not easy, sincerely.
And talking about Joseph, of course, that even brings us to looking at some biblical examples. Talking about Joseph exhibited, integrity at a very...
To the core.
Exactly, at a very high level because, he was a man of integrity for his master to entrust everything to him. It showed that David was it? Am I saying David now? Joseph. It shows that Joseph was indeed a man of integrity. Yes. Now, the highest temptation for every man, because for me, that's the highest. In fact, when we compare temptation with a woman and temptation with money, for man, I think the temptation with a woman is higher
than money.
I'm trying to.
Yes,
compare. I think temptation for a woman with a woman is higher than for a man. You are saying yes, are you a man?
I'm not a man, but as I'm concurring to what you say.
Okay. You know what it means for a woman, and I'm sure Potiphar's wife must be a beautiful woman.
Definitely,
even if she's not beautiful, for a woman to seduce you, like it's not like you are the one looking for something. She's the one. And that this guy, I'll get you. And I'm sure it was not going to be one time. She must have been giving him eyes, signals, and there's some signals that a woman can give you that you have to speak in tongues. I'm just trying to be dramatic about it because so that we can really understand what Joseph went through. You understand? So for him, and at the point that the woman has, okay, I caught you today, nobody's at home, let's do this thing. And then at that point, for him to have, left his clothes, it shows that there must have been some force. Like
honestly.
There was something the Bible recorded. The Bible said, Joseph said, shall I do this thing and shall I do this great sin?
Against my will.
Or shall I do this great thing and sin against my God? And I'm sure that must have touched the heart of God. That did that, wow. But of course, that was integrity, but my brother and my sister, he landed in prison. Hey, God.
Oh.
Now, this is it. Now, if he had not, someone might say, hey, you see? Now, if he had not, told the truth, or if he had not run away from that sin, you understand? Now, he would have actually laid with her, and they would have been doing it, and the woman would have covered it up, the man would not know anything.
Definitely.
But don't forget that something greater was at stake. His destiny would have been truncated.
Yes.
It would have just ended in the four walls of Potiphar. So that glorious destiny will end in Potiphar's compound. God would now have to create another, bring up someone else who would go ahead to Egypt to deliver the children of Israel. So can you see the way some of these things are, it's connected to our destiny. You understand? So it was his destiny that it was going to play out that way.
Yes.
He would go to the prison. But if Joseph had compromised, so which means that plan of God has been truncated. So Which means sometimes, hey, this is a very vital one. So many a time when we compromise, something bigger is at stake. Quotes has been coming up these days. So quotes by Shayo John. Oh Jesus, that's deep actually. When we compromise, something bigger is at stake. I think somebody can even use that as a way of putting yourself in check. In fact, I'll write it down. That should be one of my mission statements. So because when you think about, okay, if I compromise, something bigger is at stake. For instance, okay, we are youths, of course. Now some of us are in relationship. For those of you that are in relationship and we try to uphold purity, like, okay, now there's some things that you can you might not do the main thing, but there's some things you can do behind the scene. At least pastor will not there, nobody is there.
Nobody will know.
You understand? But if there was a day that God literally gave me how will I put it now, like an illustration personally now, and that thing really helped me. And it's helped me to, because everybody, we are all prone to be tempted.
Definitely.
You understand that? Let's not lie. You understand? Let's not do it. It's true. Yeah. But there was something that God used for me which has been helping me. He gave me an illustration, and from the physical illustration, and from the illustration, he made me know that you are special, and you cannot do what every other person is doing. You understand? Other people can. The truth is, if you're in a relationship and you communicate, God will still forgive. Of course, something else is at stake, but God will still forgive you. That's the truth. But I say for you, you are special. Now, there's some things that you don't even cross the line. And he gave me what is going to say, wow. So that alone, has helped me personally now. You understand? To actually, uphold. You understand? So you too can look for something to guard yourself. There was a man, he said something, he was even married. He said one thing that helped him guard him against committing adultery is that he said he just tried to brainwash himself and convince himself that whatever it is on another woman's body is the same on the woman's wife. So he said the pleasure that he might be fantasizing about in another woman, he said it's the same thing. It's the same, front, it's the same back, it's everything. So, he had to get to that point because he said at that point, and other ladies stopped appealing to him because they said, okay, even if I try to go after this person and we get in bed, it's the same thing like my wife. And then he said, since that day, the desire to have an extramarital affair died. So you two need to do, look for what works for you. Like me now, that encounter has worked for me. So even if I want to be tempted, I'll remember, what God has told me. I'll put myself in check. So sometimes you might need to guard yourself with. So there was a particular person, they made a covenant, he and his fiancé, that if we do this, I think he said leprosy should come upon him also. Wait, wasn't that even Pastor Daniel Olawande? I think, I'm trying to remember, I think he's a man of God. He said, if I do this, that leprosy should come upon me. Yes, okay, I remember. It's Bishop David Oyedepo.
Wow. Wow.
You understand? So until you, and I'm sorry I'm dwelling a little on the, we are youths, and this is what we face every day. Let's not deceive ourselves. Yes. So me personally, that's what helped me. You understand? So you too, you can also look for what works for you. Since the day Bishop Oyedepo said that, I'm sure the desire, the appetite for, sex with his fiancée died. Because he said, God, if I do this, let leprosy come upon me. And then I'm sure when God hears a statement like that,
he holds on to it.
And even demons will take you seriously. Angels will take you seriously. Demons will respect you. Because they know that, there's nothing we can do again. Yes, and then you have a ranking in the realm of the spirit. Okay, let's not go to spiritual. We're talking about integrity. So, say something about this now. This relationship.
Yeah,
because you've been saying,
So the thing is, well, it's really not easy, and we need to ensure we put ourselves in check.
Yeah.
It's very, very important.
Yes.
Any small thing, very small, very small, can lead to a mistake. So we need to, with the grace of God.
Grace of God.
We cannot do
it's
it
true.
with our own strength.
True.
But with the grace of God, we would be able to pull through.
True.
Yes, people might laugh at you, you're old-fashioned. That Joe will say, I would prefer to remain old-fashioned, So being old-fashioned pays off because the Bible says the bed should not be defiled.
Yes.
So it's very important that we try. Very important. We as I said, cannot do it, but with the grace of
With
God.
the grace of God.
Yes, He helps us put us in check.
And
to know when
sometimes
we are going
putting,
astray.
binding yourself,
Yeah,
binding yourself with something.
Yes, boundaries, yes. Boundaries cannot be overemphasized. It must also be in place. You must, put boundaries, because you might even be on your own. Somebody, just like Joseph now, it was Potiphar's wife that came to look for him. He was on his own, no. He was on his own. But still, trouble came looking for him. So when trouble comes, you run.
Because sometimes even Satan wants to try us. That this one you're saying you're upholding. Let's test it. Let's see.
Yes, you might just be in your house and one lady just bring one sumptuous meal for you.
Hey.
You've been very hungry. You won't say no. Now you eat and not knowing that sister has something in the cooler. So we need to be very, very disciplined.
That's true. Another good biblical example is David. Yeah, David. David, before he became king. When Saul was after his life, there was a particular time that David had the opportunity to kill Saul. You understand? And he just caught the hem of his skirt. And then he went back to the other side of the mountain and then called him, my master, look at this. So to show him that I was actually there. Now David said something, he said, how can I lay my hands on the Lord's anointed? That's integrity. Because as at that time, David was aware that God had rejected Saul. So he could leverage on that and say, God has, let me just, this is an opportunity to, let me help God. But he still maintained his lane until when God said, okay, it is time. That's integrity. In fact, after that point, Saul admitted that you are a better person than me. It's in the Bible that Saul said, wow. Because Saul knows if I'm the one, I would have killed you.
Yes, because he was really running after David.
Yes, Saul said, now you are a better person. And then Saul went, but after that time, he came back looking for him again. So that was integrity. And in our generation, of course, the first name that comes to mind is our Father in the Lord, that is you. And there have been different scenarios, actually. Like the time that the federal government announced that, general overseers should actually retire at a particular age. Daddy could say, no, I was put here by God, and that's, and begin to quote mysteries. But he honored the word. The Bible says, let's obey the laws of the land. He applied wisdom. So, okay, we should retire, no problem. He just appointed somebody for the national overseer, and then he maintains the universal. And I'm sure the governments will be wondering, what wisdom?
And we're not expecting
Yes, but that was integrity. You understand? That was because he had to lead by example. So he shut their mouth. There was, we're on air. They not come. They should not come after us. So, all right. So, but that was integrity actually. And there was an example you gave about that Jew before he came live.
Yeah, that was towards the project. I think
Yes.
3 when he solicited that people should contribute, and God, after the meeting, God asked him,
did I ask you too?
And he came out again to say what God asked, what God said. That is integrity, because first of all, you'd have thought about it. How will I go and face these people and say, it was not God that said I should say, but I said, and this is what God said. It's, in fact, that's integrity on another level.
To me, that's like the best of the examples we have been given so far.
Honestly.
And somebody also did something similar. Of course, we can mention his name, Pastor Daniel Lawande. There was there's this annual program he organizes, YMR, Young Ministers Retreat.
Yes, that's
and there was
true.
a particular edition that the theme of the program is everywhere, on the vest, on flyers, billboards, everywhere. And then he came on that night. That only God knows thousands of people that were watching online, and then people that were on ground. He said, this was not the theme God gave us. Actually, this was the theme God gave us. I was wondering, no.
It's not fine.
And he laid there and said, please, everybody pray to God for mercy. As in that day, I don't know how I felt. I think I knelt down. I was watching, and I think I knelt down. God, like, this is humility. This is like, it means so much.
It does.
You understand? And I was watching the countenance, the camera was showing the countenance of other ministers there, and they were looking at him like, That's integrity on another level. And I'm sure that alone must have moved into another level, both in his work with God, ministerially. Some graces will have been released upon, so integrity is costly. It's costly. It's costly. You understand? And just like we've looked at Joseph's life, every little compromise, has an impact on our destiny. You understand? So when you say yes or when you say no, there's an impact. There's an impact. So I think we've actually said a lot on this topic. We can continue on and on and on and on like that. And, but I believe just like we used to say in our debate, with these few points of mine, we think we have been able to convince you,
I'm not confused.
and not to confuse you, that integrity is key. Integrity is gold. Integrity is wealth. Integrity is everything. So be a man and a woman of integrity. It will help. It will pay off. Of course, you might be deprived of immediate gratification, but just know that that is a sacrifice or an investment for a greater returns in the future. So uphold integrity in your life, and you're going to be what? You're going to be better off.
It's pay off at
You're going to reap the reward. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us on the show today again. We give God all the glory. By the grace of God, if the Lord tarries, we'll be here again tomorrow with another interesting episode. Don't forget, you can always be part of the show. Send your comments to us. Either you drop it in the comment section or you send it to us via WhatsApp. And even when the show is off the screen, you can still send your comments to us on the social media. The conversation can still continue there. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Shayo John Adebayo, and her name is
Senami Matthew.
Well, I like the way you say it. So thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
Bwana we ni dereva, endesha maisha yangu, chukua na usukani, Bwana tawala.
Bwana we ni mchungaji, ongoza mwana wako, nishikilie mkono, Bwana tawala.
Wewe ni amani ya moyo wangu, chaguo la moyo wangu. Wewe ni
Kila kitu changu,
wewe ni amani ya moyo wangu, chaguo la moyo wangu. Wewe ni
kila kitu changu,
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 wewe ni
kila kitu changu. Gusa Baba, gusa yote yanayonihusu.
Tenda Baba, makuu na miujiza, jionyeshe Mungu, ukitenda na tena maradufu, pendo lako kama